I always kind of hope that when people walk away from hearing my music, that they are hopeful, that they think, oh, you know what? I can do that thing that I've been wanting to do. I can be creative. I can reach that goal. That's important to me.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome to our virtual subscriber series with composer extraordinaire Jocelyn Hagen. We're so excited to have you with us here today. And
Oh, thank
we
you.
are talking today about the piece Here I Am with Jocelyn's amazing face on the front of this.
Thank you, Janaea. I'm really excited to be here and to talk about this work. It was a big milestone for me to write this piece and to have it premiered. So it will always be very meaningful.
It's a little bit of a departure for NLC, and it was intentional in the reason I programmed it, not just because it's a great piece of music, but because an organization that is really committed to primarily sacred works, that is a space in which women have been excluded for hundreds of years. This concert will pair the Mariana von Martinez Dixit Dominus with Here I Am. And I wanted to have Jocelyn here to talk to us a little bit about the piece and how it came about, and to be able to learn more about amplifying the voices of women in concert spaces, but also the sacred nature of what women have to bring to music and to the world.
What I really wanted to celebrate with this work is the voices of women and acknowledging those voices, listening to them, taking them seriously. And I also didn't want to limit it just to the United States. I wanted it to embrace the women all over the world and from all time. So it started with this, small kernel of an idea for this particular anniversary, but then it really blew up into this recognition of the important voices of women and what they have contributed to society. I worked really hard on the diversity of the libretto. I wanted to make sure that there were women from all over the world, as many continents as I could get. There's a trans woman that is represented. And also then across the political spectrum, I wanted that as well. So yeah, along with Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton, there's Margaret Thatcher,
Oh yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah. I needed it because at the heart of the work is the idea that no matter what you believe or what you care for, what you want, you have a right to use that voice and use your vote for what you want to see in the world. We don't agree on everything. And honestly, if we did, wouldn't that be boring? Just,
Right.
I like to
Yeah.
think that anyway. The
Right.
diversity of the way we think about things is important. And that is one of the things that's so great about democracy.
Really, the idea that democracy is sacred and that the opinions and voices of women are sacred, that's really the reason why I think that this piece needs to be done, even in a context where this is a choir that doesn't deviate from what we would consider sacred repertoire very much, because it's that important for us to listen to all of the voices.
It's structured in 4 large movements, and it starts with quite a bit of narrative, which is also new to me. I had never written a piece that had this much narration. And I think it's very meaningful that it comes from the singers in the choir. There's a song in the middle that's a cappella, and it's called There Is a Girl.
Yeah.
And I love this poem, and it's by Amanda Lovelace. There is a girl who sings only when every window is shut. Like most girls, she's been learning the trait of silence since birth. Everyone underestimates how important her voice is. And the greatest tragedy of all is that she does too. The second movement gets really kind of thorny and a little dark. My favorite part in the second movement is that at one point the choir ascends into this high cluster chord and the orchestra drops out. And then all of a sudden the 3 percussionists start breaking glass. And then we hear the soprano soloist start. I hear your voice calling to me in my sleep. I feel your hands at my shoulder pushing for me to wake. You are afraid. You are angry. You are desperate that I rise. You say my name again and again. When I open my eyes, it is me I see. When I open my ears, it is me I hear. When I am on my feet, it is our journey that I continue. The third movement is a celebration of the actual right to vote. It's called Voting for Ourselves, and you'll see some amazing pictures in there from the Women's March, both the current, from current events and also from in the past. And here is also where I had inspiration for the title of the work from a section of text from Glennon Doyle. My emotions, my intuition, my imagination, my courage, those are who we are. Will we be brave enough to unlock ourselves? Will we be brave enough to set ourselves free? Will we finally step out of our cages and say to ourselves, to our people and to the world, here I am. That's what this last movement is about, is not being afraid to share your story with the world and to celebrate the stories of others that have not been lifted up. This is the opening. I have so many stories to tell. And when you listen to my story, you give birth to my song. That's why we tell these stories, and why storytelling is such a huge part of my art. It's important. There's something very special about coming to a concert and sitting down and for the next 35 minutes listening to the voices of women, seeing pictures of women, just kind of being surrounded by that energy, by that content. And I think for women especially, it's deeply moving. I always kind of hope that when people walk away from hearing my music, that they are hopeful, that they think, oh, you know what? I can do that thing that I've been wanting to do. I can be creative. I can reach that goal. That's important to me.
You have an initiative through your sort of publishing arm of all things that you do that is Compose Like a Girl.
Well, it started very small as just a little advertising push, actually, for our publishing company, Graphite, because we have so many amazing women composers on our roster. So it was just kind of a fun way to, promote them. And then we got negative feedback from conductors saying, I don't understand this. Why are we doing this? What if we said compose like a boy? It's just like, oh, you're not understanding. And I actually took that feedback very personally and kind of, retreated into a hole for a couple days and came out realizing, well, it's time to start talking about it. For many years, I did not talk about how my experience has been different as a woman composer. And I was encouraged also not to talk about it because, don't put woman in front of that noun, composer, right? And so I didn't talk about it for the longest time. And then I realized, no, I need to talk about it because no one really is. The world that we often see of music and what this career is like, it celebrates prodigies in a really big way. I mean, that's the genius of Mozart, right? We all know that he was a young phenom, right? I was not brilliant at the age of 15. No, but I wanted it. I wanted it so badly. I realized I was an underdog really early on. And so knew that I had to outwork other people. People look at me and they don't expect that music to come out of me. And there was a time in my 20s that I actually really enjoyed that. I enjoyed this surprising of people, that came out of me. Isn't that cool? And showing up and being young and, it just, that was kind of fun. And then I, got into my 30s, late 30s, and I realized, oh yeah, this is starting to get old. Why do I have to keep pounding on this? Why do I have to keep working so hard to get similar opportunities as the men in my field? That was a really tricky thing and was part of the impetus for writing Notebooks of Leonardo da Vinci, was because I realized I need to do something big and risky and so amazing that everyone wants to see it and everyone has to take me seriously. And that's why I've gotten so passionate about ensuring that there is more music to choose from. Let's get more pieces published. Let's get it out into the world. And so that's a big part of our mission with our publishing company. The podcast and the choral series, both, I started working on both of those things during the pandemic, and I'm very proud of both. So if you want to check out the Compose Like a Girl podcast, it's me interviewing amazing composers, people that I have admired for many years. And then the choral series is made up of a bunch of women that I mentor. So at this point, I'm mentoring about 30 women on composition. And they're all at various stages in their learning and development. For many of them, though, it's their very first published piece, which I love. Wow. So I love helping them kind of make the leap into, finding out what publishing is like, finding out what it's like to work with an editor, all of those things that feel like they're kind of beyond your reach, or like you don't know the right person to talk to. Yeah. I feel like I'm there to just boost it. And some of the music in this series is just incredible. And I am so proud of the work they are doing.
It's really something that we all need to think about, how much the voices of women have not been heard.
We're still in a place where we have to talk about it. I look forward to the day when we don't need it anymore. Because I do think it's possible. Come on, humanity.
Right. Really, if I have to say, who is Jocelyn Hagen? A lot of it is in this work.
Yeah.
Like, listen to me. Yeah, I have something to say. Why did you, I mean,
that's what it is.
It's really funny because, if I have to be honest, when I first met you, I had seen pictures like this, and then I meet you, and you're kind of introverted. A little bit, would you say?
Yeah.
It has been fabulous to talk to you, as always, and we really look forward to being able to perform the piece.
Thank you. This was just a wonderful interview, and I cannot wait.
I can't wait.
Mm-hmm.